Welcome to Geared Up from GeekWire.com in Seattle. I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
Wow, Andrew, so you were supposed to wear the Halloween outfit today. We're recording this on October 31st. Where the heck is your outfit?
You know, the problem is I told my wife we need to get some Halloween costumes last night because I wanted to wear something today. Not too over the top, but a little something. And we didn't end up doing it. Then I told her today it was for GeekWire, and she was super disappointed. She told me to come in dressed in my pro wrestling outfit. And number one, that wouldn't be a Halloween costume because I was legitimately a pro wrestler before, so that's just real life. And number two, it involves wearing like a tight lycra leotard while driving. It just wouldn't be a good look for me.
Not a good idea. Well, if you want to check out my Halloween costume, it's at GeekWire on Twitter. It's a very cool Halloween
You need to
outfit.
see this.
I changed out of it. It didn't breathe very well, so I changed out of it. Hey, but my favorite one that I saw so far, there was actually a woman who dressed up as an Echo device, and her name was Alexa, so it was perfect.
Oh, careful.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You just activated her.
I did just activate her. All right.
That's a good one. The best one I saw was a guy who has one leg, and he is dressed as Tigger, bouncing around. So the arms and legs are in the air, and he's bouncing around on his leg is the tail.
Okay,
so
wow.
He's walking around on the tail.
Wow.
Very good.
Very creative.
Yes.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about this week coming up on Geared Up. We have here in our midst a brand new Xbox One X.
Yes, early.
This is a review unit. We've been trying it out here in the GeekWire offices. We are limited based on the embargo timing of the reviews in terms of what we can talk about on the show today, but we're going to be diving into that.
Let's tell people what an embargo means just so they know what we're talking about.
So when you agree to take a device on loan to review it, you also agree to a specific time when you can go public with your opinions on it. They don't control your opinions or anything like that, but they say, hey, so everybody who's reviewing this on a level playing field, please hold your reviews until this time and this date.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. All right, so we've also got the brand new Kindle Oasis, Andrew's least favorite e-reader here in our office.
I think you read too much into my comments, okay? You read too much into it. So you've been using this one. I have one here as well that I've been
You just think it's too expensive at $250.
That's it. That really is it. And again, you know, we'll get more into that.
Yeah.
But it's a very expensive. It does one thing. It's a single-use device.
That's right. All right, don't forget you can subscribe to Geared Up at geekwire.com/geared up. You can also go to Gear Live on YouTube, which is Andrew's YouTube channel, to find out and get the behind-the-scenes videos. But I want to jump in with our first topic, Andrew.
What is it?
That is the iPhone 10.
iPhone 10.
So we're going to be talking about the Xbox One X later on. The iPhone 10.
iPhone 10.
Roman numeral 10.
Roman numeral X 10.
That's right.
It's 10 on the iPhone. It's X on the Xbox.
So let's talk about this. It is going to be released coming up this week.
This
on
Friday. November 3rd.
That's right. I did my pre-order, as I know a lot of folks have out there, but you told me when you arrived here to record this podcast that I did it wrong. I ordered it through T-Mobile.
Oh.
And so you actually give folks some advice out there. How should you pre-order
for next
a
year
new device like the iPhone?
Yeah. So there's a couple of tips and tricks that are good to know. Number one, if you're ordering from Apple, which most people do, the best thing to do is go into the Apple store and select the exact device that you're hoping to buy and then favorite that device. So basically you configure it and there's a heart, you can favorite it. Then when the store comes back up online, instead of going through the checkout process, you just go right to your favorites, click buy, Apple Pay, set up Apple Pay, and all you do is click confirm Apple Pay with your thumbprint and you're done. Super fast. So that's if you're ordering from Apple. If you're ordering from T-Mobile, the best thing I found, a friend of mine actually did this, you call T-Mobile at 11:55 p.m. You forget about the website.
On the pre-order day.
On the pre-order day. You call them. So the pre-order is going to go live at 12:01 a.m. Call them 5 minutes before. Get someone on the phone. They'll get it ready, and as soon as it drops, they'll just hit enter, and you're done for launch date.
And the reason this matters is because the timing of your order determines the timing of the receipt of the device.
Yeah, and it's just up in the air because it's all about inventory. So you might, someone may have ordered the exact same moment as you did, but they ordered a 64 gig and you ordered a 256, and yours is coming launch day and they're just coming 3 weeks later. You just never know. And then the one last tip is if you're with Comcast. If you're a Comcast, you don't even have to be a customer, actually. You can sign up that day. Sign up for Xfinity Mobile. They sell Verizon devices. So Xfinity Mobile is an MVNO, which means they use someone else's network. In this case, it's Verizon. So you're getting Verizon service, and you can buy your phone full price from Comcast. If you go to a Comcast location, unlock the phone if you pay for it in full price, and you can even cancel the service next day if you want because it's prepaid. There's no contract, and then you'll walk away with a new iPhone without having to stand in a line because most people don't go to Comcast.
And can you do that on launch day, not just for pre-orders?
Launch day, absolutely.
Okay.
They don't even have pre-orders. You just go there on Friday morning. If there's a Comcast location near you, if you plan on paying full price, you can just buy one right there. And if you want, I mean, the service from Comcast is also, since it's Verizon, it's very good and it's very inexpensive. It is $45 per month unlimited use, or if you don't use it too much, you can pay $12 per gig. So if you're only using like 2 gigs a month, $24 for your smartphone through Comcast. So that's another way. That's 3 ways to get your, and this is all for people who it's an ultimate first world problem, who want to get the new iPhone on day one. That's it. So if you don't care about that, you just want to get the new phone, none of this applies to you. But if you need to get it day one, like us, that's how you do it.
I'm going to rely on you, Andrew, to have it day one so we can talk about it.
I will. So what happened with your pre-order? So it's not coming day one?
No, well, it's going to arrive sometime between day 1 and day 7.
How do they not know? It's 48 hours. How do they not know by now?
I think I just got to keep watching my T-Mobile portal to figure that one out.
Okay.
By the way, jargon watch, MVNO, mobile virtual network operators.
I didn't even know what it meant. So
that means that Comcast is essentially riding on Verizon's network to provide you this service.
You're paying Comcast, but you're getting Verizon service.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Right. Speaking of wireless, looks like T-Mobile and Sprint are not going to get together again. It's like,
how does this always happen? Did you want them to join up or did you not?
I did. Partially because it would be a great story to cover, and if John Ledger ended up running the combined company, it would be really interesting to see how he would try to go head-to-head in a much more equal way with AT&T and Verizon.
I like the idea of the story too, but I like more competition. Like, I like that there's 4. I don't want there to be 3.
But wouldn't there be more competition if T-Mobile was able to become a better competitor against AT&T and
I don't know.
Verizon?
I mean, they're doing a pretty damn good job right now.
Adding 1 million customers a quarter.
Can I say damn on this show?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
They're doing a pretty good job right now of competing. I mean, they're taking customers away. Still, I mean, it's a very, to me, it's fascinating to see what they're doing because they are charging less, and they're not. I mean, I don't know all the corporate financial stuff, but it seems like they're not struggling financially because of it. And AT&T and Verizon are just losing customers to T-Mobile, and it's crazy.
Yeah. No, T-Mobile's been turning in profits. So
that's amazing.
Yep. All right. So that is the iPhone 10 coming out this upcoming Friday. What should people know other than what we've talked about in terms of the pre-orders at this point?
Well, the pre-orders themselves, if you haven't pre-ordered yet, your best bet is to go to a store. You can still walk into stores this Friday, but Apple said they'll have them at their Apple stores, but they said get there early. That was their quote.
So there's going to be lines again. The lines are going to be back.
There will be lines again. That's something that Apple's retail chief, Angela Ahrendts, has tried to remove from the whole experience because she said, it looks great for headlines and on the news, but we are a customer. Yeah, we're focused on the customer, and it's not a good experience for the customer. But this is a big launch for Apple, and so they're going to have people lining up. They're going to have phones for people that didn't get to pre-order them, but they're not going to have a lot. So you will have to line up. And again, if the secrets are, try your carrier stores and try stores where you can buy them full price, like a Best Buy or the Comcast store is like the secret weapon. If you have one of those nearby and you're going to pay full price, that's probably the best bet.
And we should say it's not just like a random Comcast drop off your cable box place. It's an actual retail store, an Xfinity retail store.
That's correct.
That's
correct. So
has
search
various locations.
Search like your Google Maps or whatever, see if you have an Xfinity retail store nearby, and if you do, call them beforehand and just see, are you selling the iPhone on launch day? And if they say yes, that's the place.
And no one else will be in line there with you.
That's right, exactly.
Who's going to really line up at the Comcast
it's just not
store?
It's not what you think about. You think about going to Apple, and then you think about, no, I'm a T-Mobile customer, I'll go to T-Mobile.
Or Best Buy.
Maybe you go to Best Buy. But, the lines at the Comcast stores, I'm not expecting to see a lot of those, and those will probably be the best places to get them.
Okay, so we'll look forward to your initial iPhone 10 impressions next week on Geared Up.
Next week on Geared Up, and if you watch me on YouTube, of course, I'll have it day of.
Right. Real time.
Real time, always.
All right. So let's talk about this piece of machinery here on the table in front of us. This is the new Xbox One X. It's a new $500 console. Andrew, for people who have not been tracking this, it was originally known as Project
Oh
Scorpio.
my goodness, yes.
And it's actually got the Scorpio engine inside, if I
Mhm.
understand correctly. There is the Xbox One X and the
Yep.
Xbox One S.
Yes, there is.
We
Both.
are looking at the Xbox One X, which
Yes.
comes out soon on
November 7th.
November 7th. What should people know about this to the extent
Man.
that you can say it right now?
First of all, to the extent of what we can say, this thing is heavy. This thing is packed with. I mean, you could just tell it's almost the exact same size as the S. They're very, very, very similar in physical size. But when you pick them up, this thing is so much heavier. Like Microsoft did a great job at packing everything in there, including the large power brick.
That was the first thing. Taylor Soper and I have been playing this here in the afternoons in the office on this screen up here behind you. When we opened it up, the first thing I noticed, where's the power brick? There's no brick on
No
the
external
cord,
brick.
which is really nice.
Yeah, they put it all. They were able to fit all that inside of here. And the cool thing, I mean, so you have Xbox One X enhanced games, and what that means is developers are coding their games with additional data to take advantage of the Xbox One X power and hardware. So that would be 4K video assets. That would be things like Dolby Atmos sound, although the Xbox One S can also do that. High dynamic range video. So and just the higher the higher teraflop count. So it's 1.4 teraflops on the older model versus 6 teraflops here. So that's over 4 times more powerful. So this is the most powerful. Microsoft says this all the time. It's the most powerful console ever made, and that's true. There's been no other video game console ever released that's been more powerful than this guy right here. So you have the Xbox One X enhanced games. Then you have, I don't know if you saw my video, but I actually dropped mine. I dropped mine in
and
my
I almost
video.
did it again. Yes.
So you have the Xbox One X enhanced games. Then you have just the Xbox One X games themselves that haven't been enhanced. This will still make those perform better just by the fact that it's a faster console. So your load times will be better. Even if you're playing on 1080p TVs, it'll super sample all that 4K down to 1080p, which makes it look even crisper than it would if it was just a 1080p asset. So that's regular Xbox One X games. It also plays. Those were regular Xbox One games. It also plays Xbox 360 games through backwards compatibility, and as of this week, it also plays original Xbox games. I think that there's a selection right now of 12 or 13 of those. So basically, with this console, you can play every generation of Xbox that is backwards compatible.
If you have the games, or if you can download them, right?
You can download them. If you have them already on disc, you just put the disc in there, and then it'll download the digital version when you have the disc in there. And there's no other Xbox, even if you have the One S, which is a great value at $250, you won't get the Xbox One X enhanced assets when you play on that. So this is really the console to own if you're into Xbox, most definitely, and if you're a gamer as well. The problem and the negative that Microsoft has to get over is the fact that they don't have many console exclusives. So almost every game that you play on the Xbox is also available for the PlayStation, but the PlayStation also has a lot of games that are not available for the Xbox, and that's the Achilles heel of the Xbox platform right now. And that's where they've canceled a couple games that were going to be exclusive, and that they just don't come out. And anytime you talk to a hardcore gamer, that's always going to be the response that they give you. It could be as powerful as you want it to be. Think about, if we can take it to the mobile space, if Windows phones were the most powerful phones out there, but there were no apps, what's the use of buying one, right? So that's what Microsoft has to contend with now. That is not the situation here. There's a lot of great games for the Xbox, and a lot of great games that were on the 360 that you can play here.
So as you're looking at the holiday season, and this is just a preview probably of our holiday show.
Yeah.
If you were looking at the Nintendo Switch, the
Mhm.
Xbox One S, the PS4 Slim, the Xbox One X, and I realize it depends on what you like to do, what
Right.
ecosystem you're in. But is there a clear favorite in your mind?
Man. Oh, man.
The
so,
Switch? You love the Switch.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
It's
if you had
kind
to
of
pick one console,
It's hard
the thing
not
with
to-
the Switch is that I can be on an airplane
Yep.
playing NBA 2K or Mario Odyssey or Legend of Zelda, which you just cannot do that with any of these other consoles. But on the flip side, if I'm at home I don't want to play NBA 2K on my Switch in 1080p. I want to play it on my Xbox One X in 4K.
So the answer is buy both.
If I were picking two consoles, I would pick the Xbox One X and the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And I would leave the PS4 out. That's just my personal
And
preference.
you'd be out $800 before you bought any
before
games.
you even bought a game. That is correct. 100% correct.
Which wouldn't even get you an iPhone 10.
right. This is a very expensive time of year. But let me know what you think though. You said you've been playing. Well, you can't talk about your impressions.
Yes. Yeah.
So stay away from that. But what are your thoughts of what we can say?
So here's my thing. And Taylor Soper and I are playing this. Taylor is, and this is what we're going to write about when we can. Taylor is on an original Xbox One.
Okay.
I am on an Xbox 360. Like a slim, the slim Xbox 360. Yeah. Now, here's my issue. My daughter loves to play Connect Party.
Yep.
It is not available for the Xbox One. As I understand, last time I checked, it's never been updated. No.
Okay.
No, we were like, who would update that game?
Right.
So if I'm going to go to the Xbox One at home, the Xbox One X or the S, I'm going to have two consoles running.
Well, I mean, the other option, I don't know how old your daughter is, because I remember
to tell her to get over it.
No. Well, not get over it, but like there was an age where my son liked what he liked,
and
then there was an age where he liked what he liked, but if there was something better, he would gravitate. So there's other Kinect games that are Xbox One compatible that are similar to that probably that she could play.
Probably. I spent a lot of time when the Xbox One originally came out going through this exercise looking for a game that could supplant Connect Party.
You couldn't find one.
At the time, at least, I had a hard time finding an equivalent, because the beauty of Connect Party is you turn it on and you walk out of the room and the kids just play it.
Right.
It literally, you do nothing. It's mini games.
Mm-hmm.
It's tons of fun.
Right.
At any rate, that's sort of where I am. I'm still on this console that's technically, the generation is more than a decade old, even though the console itself is not.
Right, but I mean the platform is very old. So it's time. It's time for you to update your iPhone, which you're doing.
Yes.
It's also time for you to update your gaming. I mean, maybe you go Switch. I don't know.
She would probably like that.
Right.
So, all right. So that is a quick look at the Xbox One X. We'll be able to talk a lot more about this on next week's show. We're going to have a lot to talk about next week.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
All right. We are going to take a break here on Geared Up. When we come back, we will be taking our brand new Kindle Oasis for a dunk. Yes, that's right.
Throwing it in the water.
Will it float? That's coming up next. You're listening to GeekWire.
All right, let me see what people are saying
how's
here on the chat.
Going? Are we online?
What about the PS4? Is they're coming out with a new one? I don't expect Sony to come out with a new PlayStation for like another 2 years.
What?
Because they just came out with the PS4 Pro. PS4 Pro is like a year old.
Oh, okay. When I said the Slim earlier, was that?
Yeah, there's a Slim version, but there's also the Pro. Will there be a huge difference playing Call of Duty World War II and other games between Xbox One X and PS4 Pro
I got you,
while
Dan.
playing without side-by-side comparisons with a microscope when playing? There will be some obvious differences. You will see less pop-up on the Xbox One X. You will see better color on the Xbox One X. People who've played both have said that it obviously looks better on Xbox One X. But again, they are looking at it side by side because you do have to. I mean, that's how else you're going to compare other than by your memory. But either way, they're both going to look great, so you don't have to worry too much about it. There will be no noticeable difference. Some people say between multi-platform games. There will be some differences. Assassin's Creed in particular has very noticeable differences between the two. Game Boy Advance. I have a Game Boy Advance, and the games look the same as a PS4 Slim. I don't. Someone's a hater. I don't know. A Game Boy Advance from back in 1998. That's it. That's it for
all right. So on Dan says, let's see, Dan, you had a question, didn't you? Yeah. Does the Xbox One X come with a camera? Good question.
No, it does not come with
no
a camera.
Connect?
No Connect. You can still buy the Connect. They actually discontinued making them.
Right.
You can buy a Connect, but even better, the Xbox One X and S are now compatible with webcams. So you can plug in a webcam and then launch Twitch on the Xbox or launch Mixer, which is Microsoft's competitor to Twitch, and it'll put you in like the corner, so when people can watch you live stream, you can actually see and talk to them. Well, they can see you and you can talk to them. So you don't even have to use a Connect anymore to get the video feature.
Okay. All right. So that is we answered the questions there.
We
We'll
answered
take
the
one more.
questions.
We'll
Any other
take some more
questions?
questions at the end of the.
Drop your questions in the comments below. We're going to get back into this.
All right. Welcome back to Geared Up. I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
You're listening to GeekWire, and we just went through and talked about the Xbox One X, the
Yes.
iPhone 10, talked a little
Right.
about Sprint and T-Mobile. Now has come the time for the hands-on, or what should we say, the water on,
Right.
because
Well, it's more than just a water on. It's a hands-on.
we have actually 2 Kindle Oasis here. I
Kindle
believe that's
Oasis.
the plural. This is the new $250 high-end
Yeah,
e-reader
just came out today.
from Amazon.
Just dropped today from Amazon. And yes, $250. So without question, this is the best e-reader that Amazon has ever made, in my opinion. So it is the best. But I still think $250 is pretty insane for a single utility device like this. I don't know. You said you've been using it too. Have you taken it into the bathtub, taking a little bubble bath?
I have not yet, although that is sort of the long-time dream, and that is one of the features.
That is the long-time dream of the Kindle Oasis.
One of the features of this is it is waterproof, and we're going to test that here in just a second. But it's a beautiful screen. I love the Paperwhite approach,
Yeah.
and for people who haven't followed this, the whole notion is the light comes up and over the screen and then down onto the letter, so it's not shining into your eyes,
Right.
shining down onto the screen effectively within this little micro area here.
Absolutely.
And so the nice thing about that is you can read in the dark without really hurting your eyes.
Right.
Because it's pointing away from it.
And it's the first waterproof Kindle. That's why we have water here.
That's right. So
The
I've
first
got it
waterproof Kindle ever. And
yeah.
have you heard of the issues with the waterproofing?
No, have you heard? Are there issues with the
There
waterproof?
are issues. So the main issue
Yeah.
is that it is truly waterproof, but droplets of water getting on the screen will be red as your finger. And it'll start turning pages and scrolling when you're like,
So
I'm just trying to read.
So it doesn't get damaged, but it's not usable when wet.
Right. So it's like, it's just it's okay if you drop it, but it's not something you'd want to like, you don't want to be standing in the shower reading.
Yeah. I will point out, before we do the dunking, as this says up here, this is my 7th Kindle. I think that might actually be something of an underestimation. Probably have tested
Right, I think
others,
so
yeah.
too, yeah.
So, but I actually do have here with
Where is
us.
this?
Where is this?
Where is this, Claire?
I've got it right here.
Claire is a wizard, by the way. Claire, our
Brain,
producer.
yes.
She's the only one dressed up for Halloween.
So I have here, check this out. This is an original Kindle. An
Where's the
original.
box? No.
Show the box.
Show the box because people need to see. Do you have the box at so the new Kindles come in just a little thin cardboard box. This was the box.
It looks like a big book.
It
It
looks
looks
like
like
a
a
giant
giant
book.
encyclopedia.
A giant book.
You can see the
That is
metaphor
what
they
the
were
original
going
Kindle
for.
came in.
Yeah, it says inside. It says Kindle, verb, set on fire, inspire, stir up, catch fire, become animated. The original white one. So the 10th anniversary of the Kindle release is coming up in November. I'm going to try and get this thing running again and do a whole story on whether or not I can actually use the original Kindle.
There's no backlight on here, and it has that super weird scroll wheel.
And like the
You remember
awkward
that?
next page. This was one of the big complaints. Like you'd inadvertently hit the next page all
Right.
the time and you wouldn't. Anyway, I'm going to give it a shot.
Still cool. Still
so,
cool.
more to the point, here is the brand new Kindle Oasis. I've got it up here. And we are going to try to see what
going in the
happens when we
water.
dunk it. Here
Give
it
it a
goes.
bath.
Okay, so here, you ready? Let's see. Can we get some water sound into the mics? Let's try
You
it.
just have to.
Okay, here you go. Okay.
Now the first thing that happened when you dropped it in there was it turned the page. So
It
the
did.
water hit the Kindle screen, and the Kindle was like, "Oh, you're almost about to buy a book by accident. It took you into the Kindle store.
I don't know, Andrew. See, oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's doing a bunch of things.
Mm.
The water droplets are acting like fingerprints. You're right. It's like touching all over the place on the
Why?
Kindle. Yeah, that is.
Why?
So if you're in the bath and you're reading your book, which is a cool thing to do. It's nice to be able to read a book, and you
Absolutely.
wouldn't want to do that with your phone because well, let's try it again. Did I just get you wet?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Are things happening?
Yeah, it's when you go to the home screen, it's suddenly queuing up a bunch of different things. It selected one book.
I don't like that.
It gave me a suggestion of book. The book that it suggested for me. So I don't know.
What?
Clearly, the water must know something.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
At any rate, but it is still working. That is the thing.
Right, that's the
and if
point.
You dry it off.
We expect it'll still work after getting wet. That's the point. It says it's the first waterproof Kindle, so it should work after getting wet. It's just that it's difficult to use while it's wet.
Oh wow! I think I just accidentally did a book sharing thing with somebody. Okay, with the water because of the water.
You just
So this is clearly for hardcore readers. If you're a casual reader, you're not going to spend $250 on
Right.
one of these things.
Now, this one was the last generation Kindle Oasis. And the interesting thing about this one is not only is it an inch smaller, but the cover that it came with, this was half the battery.
Right.
So you would charge the Kindle, and it would also charge this cover, which was removable.
Oh.
And so if your Kindle was dead, you could just put the cover on, and it would get charged again.
Gotcha.
Now, since it's bigger, there's enough battery space in there that they no longer have that magnetic cover anymore.
But one of the nice things, people will notice this, is the covers that they send it with. It's kind of got an indentation on the back of the device
Yes.
that the covers fit into. But it's actually a really nice experience to hold if you don't have the cover on, because it creates sort of a nice grip, a natural grip.
A little bit of a nice weighting.
So it's very easy to hold one-handed, which is not always the case with
Right.
a lot of these devices. But it's nice when you're, maybe laying in bed or you get into different positions to have the option of doing one or the other, two or one-handed.
And it'll automatically flip if you change to the
Right.
other hand. And this is one device where you want there to be bezels. You want to be able to hold it comfortably.
Yes.
I saw some people like, why are there so many bezels? Like, you need that on a book.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hold it.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the new Kindle Oasis. Anything else folks should know about that?
It's available today.
Yep.
Shipping today.
$250.
There are an assortment of covers you can get for it as well, but they are optional. None of the covers provide extra battery anymore.
All right. So Patrick is on the live stream is asking us to flip a few pages. I'll go into let's see, Runaway Ralph, which I'm sure is a big favorite, big favorite of lots of folks here. Yes. Let's see. Oh, it's you know what? It's queuing all the books, so I don't have them all downloaded. So, Patrick, we'll show you that offline.
No, you won't.
All right, so that's the Kindle Oasis. We've obviously got a lot to talk about next week as well. Any other?
This is the time of year where things get insane in the.
Consumer electronics and gadget
Consumer
world.
electronics world, and then after Christmas, it doesn't slow down because then we go right into CES. So really, the next 6 to 8 weeks here on Geared Up are going to be very exciting.
Crazy. I am not going to be able to go to CES this year, by the way.
What?
I know. We're sending a crew. I'm not going
Okay.
to be able to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an important reason.
I'll be there.
which I
Oh,
can explain
okay.
later.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. So until next week, I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
You're listening to Geared Up on GeekWire. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.